Today we are going to be taking a look at every single different type of biome in the Nether, and I'm really just doing this to show you how cool command blocks are and teleporting from one spot to another. Before we get started, big thank you to those of you who are YouTube members. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your direct support. You get access to videos early whenever I can actually upload them right before, sometimes it happens right before they go out. But also you get access to my Java Minecraft server. Thank you so much for your support. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and like I mentioned, we're gonna be going through all the different biomes, talking about all the different mobs that spawn there, some special things about each one, so that you know all the facts as you go and explore through the Nether. There are 5 different biomes. I showed you a little bit of a preview of them right in the intro. And we're starting off with the old biome, basically. The one that, if you have been playing in Minecraft 1.15, you know really well. This is everything that used to be in the Nether all in one biome. So basically unupdated other than some of the world generation with the ores and that sort of stuff. This is called the Nether Wastes, and in previous versions it was just the Nether or Minecraft Hell or whatnot. So all of the normal things spawn here. So you got your ghast, you got your pigmen, which are now called zombified piglins, you got your magma cubes, and you have your endermen. Why can't I not think of that word? Then around nether fortresses, which are technically not the biome, they're the structure within the biome, you have all of the blazes and the skeletons and the wither skeletons and that sort of stuff. Now you have 2 additional mobs that will spawn compared to 1.15. That is the piglin, which you can barter with, will attack you if you're not wearing gold, those sorts of things. And then also the strider, which will spawn inside of the lava lakes, but technically they are still considered the Nether Wastes if you look at the F3 menu. So inside of the walls, you're going to have a whole bunch of things generating now in 1.16. You're still going to have the Nether Quartz, but you also have the Nether Gold ore, which we've seen sprinkled around. You'll also have ancient debris in the ground in the lower levels, although that will not generate next to exposed air. So you're never just gonna see some ancient debris on the ground. And you also have these crazy glowstone things that you've always known and loved inside of the Nether. Something else that is new to the Nether is Nether music. So I do not play with music or ambient environment just because we want to edit around those sorts of things. But if you had your music slider slid upwards, there's a chance you would hear this song, I have no idea how to say this, but this is a new song to the Wither update, and this will only play in the Nether Wastes. Just giving you a taste. We're not gonna play all of it. It's way too long. It's 5 minutes. We don't got 5 minutes. You don't have 5 minutes. I don't have 5 minutes. Sounds nice though. You also have Nether 1 through 4.org that play in the Nether. That's really anywhere in the Nether. That's not specifically the Nether Wastes. I'm focusing on that other song because that is only in the Nether Wastes that will play. Moving on to the next biome. This is the Soulsand Valley. Now, I want to mention something about almost the lore of the Nether, and that is that it is volcanic, right? You got all of this lava up in the Nether. It's very dark. It's very hot. Water can't exist in the Nether. So there's sort of this atmosphere, mental ethos? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyway, so you got this idea of the fact that this is volcanic, and you can really see this in the next 2 biomes that we're gonna be talking about. In the Soulsand Valley, you almost have ash falling through the air with some tiny little particles. You can see them a little bit better next to this lava here, but you also have these big pillars of what look like basically petrified lava. And these are basalt pillars, so they're made out of the block basalt, Also, you have this crazy sand stuff. You got soul sand, which is an older block. You've seen this stuff before. And you also have soul soil, which is a newer block. When soul soil is set on fire, you got the blue lights, you got the blue fire, the soul flame, and that will transfer into torches, lanterns, and campfires. The other interesting thing with world generation are these bone blocks. So you have fossils that will generate in the Soulsand Valleys. So you also have basically a lot of the normal generation. So you have still the glowstone up in the ceiling. You're gonna have your nether quartz and gold and blackstone all generating. So other than the surface of it being mostly sand, the rest of the generation is the same. By the way, in the past biome that we talked about, the Nether Wastes, and in this biome, you can get these bastion remnants, which are these big black boxes that contain the piglins and the hoglins and treasure rooms and all sorts of stuff like that. So you can look forward to finding those in this biome as well. Along with nether fortresses, I should mention, along with nether fortresses. So you got the remnants and the nether fortresses that could spawn here in the Soulsand Valley. So let's talk about the mobs that generate. I have them sitting right here. You have your Endermen. Hey, I remember the name of them this time. You got your ghasts, and you also have skeletons that can spawn. They'll probably spawn with bows. I'd use the command block, so he doesn't have a bow. And then you have the same striders as with all of the others. You can see these two down there. They're so cold, and they're standing on top of each other. That's adorable. So that is really it with the Soulsand Valley. Moving on to the Basalt Deltas. So what I was mentioning before about the sort of thought process of the Nether is that it is very volcanic. This really takes it up a notch with the Basalt Deltas. So everything is covered in this crazy basalt stuff. Every once in a while, you'll have some blackstone scattered throughout, but this really takes the idea of this area being very volcanic and makes it kind of extreme. You can see the particles of ash float through the air a lot more visible in the Basalt Deltas than they were over in the Soulsand Valleys. You still have basalt from the Soulsand Valleys in the Basalt Deltas. That's why I almost feel like they're kind of connected in a way, being that you have basalt in both. They both have sort of an ash sort of texture in the particles. And so I almost feel like this is the big brother to the little brother of the Soulsand Valley. So there's some really interesting stuff about world generation with this biome specifically. First off is that it can have nether fortresses. So we have this crazy, I'm so glad I found this biome with this nether fortress because it looks insane inside of the Basalt Deltas. But it cannot generate the bastion remnants. Those will not exist in a Basalt Delta. Now, what's also interesting is because the basalt and the blackstone takes up so much of the netherrack, or actually happens here twice as much as any of the other biomes. So you're going to get more quartz and more gold in the walls than you will in any of the other biomes. The mobs that happen here are really, really sparse. You basically only have ghasts, which I haven't seen a ton up in here. And then you have magma cubes, which means there are a lot of magma cubes in this biome. Also, if you notice, this is a very vertical biome and it's pretty difficult to get around. So these magma cubes attack just by touching you, and it can be really annoying to have to deal with these magma cubes inside of this biome. So be very aware that even though they're just magma cubes, you may think that they're not that deadly. They can be very deadly in this biome. Like I mentioned with the Nether Wastes, if you have a structure that has anything that normally spawns in it, those things will normally spawn. So that's why you're still going to get your skeletons, your wither skeletons, and blazes over here in the fortress. Oh, and of course you get the strider. Who cares about the strider? Nobody. Nobody cares about the strider. There is a song that goes along with this biome. Wow. Very exciting. I actually really like this song. This is in both biomes, by the way. This is in Soulsand Valleys, and it is in the Basalt Deltas. So like I mentioned before, big brother, big sister, little sister, whatever you want to call it, this definitely feels like the grown-up version of Soulsand Valleys. Also, they have the same song, so come on. They're linked. They're linked by music. Anyway, this is what the music sounds like. We're gonna stop it here though. Next is the Warped Forest. Whoa. This may be one of my favorite biomes in the Nether. This one's pretty nice because one of the main reasons we're gonna go straight to mob generation here is there's only 2 mobs to generate. Okay, you got your Enderman, I remember the name, and you have your, oh gosh, I'm forgetting the Striders. I forgot their name because they're such a horrible mob. So you got your Striders and your Endermen, and they are really the only things that are in this biome, which means that it's a relatively safe biome. It's very, very safe. Obviously, you can see the world generation. You got these huge fungus trees. They all have shroom lights inside of them, a great way to get a lot of light. These trees have a wood type called stem that you can make into wooden tools, wooden things. You make it into sticks, planks, doors, trapdoors, all those things. So this biome is very useful when it comes to getting wood and just like living peacefully. Has the same type of world generation. You can get all the different structures. You have all the different ores and whatnot inside of this biome. Also, this biome has one interesting plant. I mean, there's a whole bunch of interesting plants, but one of the most interesting ones is this one right here, because this you can climb up it. Twisting Vines is the name, and you can actually climb up this plant just like you would scaffolding or a ladder. By the way, you should also realize that warped fungus, this is available in the other biome that we're going to talk about, the Crimson Forest as well. But when you're in the Crimson Forest, they're a lot less prevalent, and when placed on the ground, they will slow down, or I guess hoglins will avoid them. So if you got a hoglin attacking you and you don't want it to attack you anymore, throw down a warped fungus. They can't be placed on normal netherrack. Keep that in mind. You have to place them on the nylium. This can be placed on the red nylium as well as this warped nylium. So the crimson nylium, I guess I should say. So it's fine to use them in the other biome, but you may want to pick up a whole bunch of them before you go into the other biome, because that is where hoglins spawn, and they are mean. They're really mean. This biome does not have a song associated with it, but it does have a ton of ambiance sounds that will play as you are inside of the biome. Moving on to the last biome, the Crimson Forest. So this is definitely a sister or a brother, or I don't know, whatever you want to say. This is a paired biome to the warped biome. So you got your warped biome, which is green and blue, and this crimson biome, which is mostly just red. Very, very red. So you have the same type of trees. They have the same shroom lights inside of them, but everything is red. And so if you make planks out of it, it'll be red instead of this green, blue, cyan thing. Inside of this biome, instead of the twisting vines, you have these weeping vines, and they work the same, that you can climb up and down them without getting hurt, just like you can the twisting vines. The mobs that spawn in this biome, though, are a little bit different. You don't get endermen, but you do get piglins and hoglins and zombified piglins, as well as striders. But who cares about striders? Nobody. So this is a great biome to go search out if you are planning on living in the Nether, because hoglins, it's kind of the only source of food. You might find a little bit of food in other places, but hoglins is really what you're going to need to use to get a lot of food if you're going to live here for an extended amount of time. For world generation, you get the normal bastions, you get the normal fortresses, you also get the normal ore generation, you got your netherite ancient debris in the ground, and you have your blackstone in the walls and whatnot. So all of that is very, very normal. Same thing with the warped forest as well. This biome, though, has music. It has song, which is fantastic. This is the hardest one to say. Cryostopia? It's because you cry. I've just given up. I have no idea. But this is the music. I'm skipping ahead a little bit so you can listen to it. Ooh, spooky. Why doesn't the warped forest get one? I don't know. I guess this one's better because you got hoglins in it. That's why it got its own music. Once again, you have to have the music slider all the way up to experience this, and it'll play randomly with the other things that play in the Nether. Pretty cool song, though. It'd be fun if you were in this biome and it started playing and you're like, wow. I got the song. I did it. I did it, Minecraft. I did it. And those are all of the biomes. You now know everything there is to know about the biomes inside of Minecraft. I hope that you found this video enjoyable. If you did, please give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.